Often I work in performance, so in those instances I have a score for movement and I have a score for language. And most times I don't speak in English. I speak in my language, Alutiiq, and sometimes in Cree. And in those instances, I've already scored it, so I know what the words will be. There is an element of improvisation, but it's a score, meaning that I can sort of deviate from it and come back to it. If it's something that I were to place on gallery walls, then it would all be completed. So in some instances, I may work, with a prose block. I may work with couplets. I'm interested in this particular piece, the relationship of white space to text and sort of what that means in that particular text. And I think a great deal about what's happening visually on the page. I developed text as a way to sort of work with a dancer. We used the text as a way to sort of guide the process of developing choreography that later became a video. I'm definitely interested in women's stories and women's experiences, and that has been, sort of one of the driving forces of my work. I would say yes, I've investigated my culture, but mostly I've investigated sort of the revitalization of, for example, our Alutiiq songs, dances, and language. But that's not to say that we haven't had challenges as Alutiiq people. What I've sort of investigated is, I guess, questions around that. I've posed a series of questions, and in performance primarily. So I've worked with, I guess, what you could consider traditional movements of Alutiiq dance or traditional materials, but I've sort of deconstructed them and sort of put them in different ways. I think that as a contemporary Alutiiq person, my practice is firmly rooted in contemporary practice, and I'm not necessarily providing answers about what constitutes traditional and what constitutes contemporary, but it's more like posing a series of questions and sort of investigating that through my practice.